Hello everyone, welcome to the Rugby League History 2000 subscriber video slash Q&A video. We hope that you're all well out there. I know it's dead early in the morning for some of you. I know that 90% of the audience out there from Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Papua New Guinea and all that. I know only a small section of people are that follow the channel from England and all that. So if you have got up early in the morning, thanks for tuning in. It's much appreciated. This is the first time I've ever done a live video ever. Besides Instagram, this is the first time I've ever done it on YouTube, because up until last Saturday, I had an old iPhone, I had an old connection going on there, so I was unable to do live streams or out like that. I was even unable to do out with the old phone. So I got a new phone on the weekend. I was on the Nick from Australia late night show for about half an hour or so. That went well, and now this is my first live stream. So already in the chat, we got Pro Enzo Vids. Hiya, good morning over there in Australia. Thank you. 2,000 subscribers, massive achievements, and smashing. Quality looks good. Apparently, Sam Rebel says that he'll be up for it. He's got a couple of emojis with a pint glass. I don't think that he'll be drinking at 6:30 in the morning, but we'll see how we go. So, just a bit of background. I never thought that I'd get to thousands of subscribers, let alone 2,000 subscribers. I started the YouTube channel in March 2020. Before that, I had the Facebook page for 2 years, and then I decided to do a YouTube channel. When I started off, because I've had this channel since 2011, but I never did with it, never did any videos or out like that. And it wasn't until March 2020 that I started doing a channel, and I started off just using my name, and I did a couple of daft videos, like a Teesside slang video, and then what's that? The old iPhone took you somewhere. I did, but I get back into it. So I did a couple of daft videos. I did one about a recruitment agency video and all that, and then I decided to do the Rugby League videos. I started off with the 2020 ladder prediction video that went for about close to an hour or so, and then I just started doing videos after that, and I was linking it to my Facebook page, and then I was getting it out there. And then I think the first person that ever contacted me from the Rugby League world on YouTube was Nick from Australia, and he said, "I'll give you a shout out on my channel." And I watched his video, and he was lying there on the settee, and he says, "I just want to give a shout out to this lad called Rugby League History, and he's from London." And I'm thinking, hang on a moment, I'm not from London. And that was the first one. And then I was invited to the Rugby League chat on Instagram, and I met people like CJ Moxley and Lorenzo Bundychick, people like that. And then it just kicked off from there. And it took close to a year, I think, to get 1,000 subscribers. And I think I've actually reached 2,000 quicker than I have 1,000. And to be fair, I'm a bit surprised by that, because in the lead up getting to 1,000 subscribers, I was pumping up the videos like no tomorrow. And this time round, between 1,000 and 2,000 videos, I haven't done now special. I've done a couple of video series here and there, but to be fair, on the whole, I haven't really done too much. Mainly just tipping videos, some forgotten ground stuff, things like that. Metallic Panthers joined. Hi, Metallic Panther. Hello, everyone. The first official Rugby League history stream. It is. I'm hoping to do some more in the future. If I can get a Sky connection, or I can do something like that, then hopefully I might be able to do some live streams of a game, maybe a Parramatta one, if possible. But let your questions come in if you got any questions or out like that. Uh, it's been a crazy ride to get to 2,000 subscribers. I never got to do a video for 1,000 subscribers. I think I did a post thanking people, but I never got to thank anyone for 1,000 subscribers. So thanks everyone for 1,000 subscribers, and thanks everyone for 2,000 subscribers. Um, who knows where the channel's going to go from here? I'm trying to get monetized. That's one thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get monetized because once you get past 1,000 subscribers, you can earn money from your videos. And even though I don't mind doing these videos for free, it is good to also get some reward for doing videos. So hopefully I can get monetized. I have to do a viral video. I think I have to do something like that to get over it, because I think I'm about 1,000 hours short. I'm always 1,000 hours short of getting there. Yeah, monetized. So thanks to Jake Paul and all that, I have to do things the hard way, because otherwise I would already be monetized. But that's how it goes. Metallic Panther, we love you. As Pro Inzovic said there, it does take time to get monetized. It's some people get there quicker than others. Just for some reason, just rugby league, he doesn't have 1,000 subscribers, but he's monetized. Someone tell me how that works. But I saw the highlights of the Manly match. I was really surprised with the scoreline. I went 1-12 myself. I thought it would be a very close match, and it didn't really turn out that way. Manly were pretty comfortable in the end. Some of the tries were pretty soft from Newcastle. I think 3 or 4 tries, it was just a simple sort of kick through the line and just pick the ball up and score. Harper, Olakawar 2, and then I think Carl Lawton did 1. But just rugby league is monetized. I think he got monetized before they changed the rules, because before you had to have, I think you just had to have your views and your watch time, but we didn't have to, because people under 1,000 subscribers were getting paid for their videos. But this is pretty freaky, like, to be fair, being live on YouTube. I've never done this before in my life, so pretty freaky. But if you got any questions, that would be sound. It was very tight for the majority of the match. Just the game opened when Lawton scored. I did notice I think it was about 12-6, and I was at work, and then the next moment I checked my phone and it was 30 points to 6 or something like that. And I went, wow, who would have thought that for a scoreline? I know a few people went Newcastle, I think. Sam Revel went Newcastle. I think Trevor from Shut the Gates or someone like, I think maybe Toby, they went Newcastle, because they went no Tommy Tabo, no no Tommy Tabo, and no I mean, they were playing away, so they were going to go for Newcastle. But I thought the way that Newcastle played the last 2 weeks and the way that Manly's been playing of late, I just had to go for Manly. Favourite Parramatta match I've been to? That's a really tough one. I think there's a couple. I can give a couple where we've lost and where we've won, because there's been a couple where I've been to where we've lost, but the overall, the crowd, the atmosphere. One of them would be the Easter Monday match 2014. There was 50,000, just over 50,000 at Stadium Australia there. I think because at that stage, Parramatta and higher Giants NRL stuff, because at that stage, Parramatta were having like their best run of games for over 2 years, because we were back-to-back wooden spooners 2012, 2013. So we were coming about second or third. And West Tigers were also having a good start to the year. So 50,000 people went to Stadium Australia. I think it was the first ever Easter Monday match. And we lost the game. It was very controversial. I mean, we should have won. But it was a really good atmosphere. And Jared Hayne had a really good match. So that's one that always stands out. There's been some good ones at Parramatta Stadium where we flogged teams. Round 1, 2015, where we smashed Manly, that were good. There was a match where I think it was 2007. We played against Canberra. We belted them. There was one at 2014. We beat Eastern Suburbs, who were the defending premiers. Beat them. I think we beat them 14-12. That were a good game. With about a minute to go, Sonny Bill Williams charged at the line. Jared Hayne sort of got underneath him and held him up. That was good. I mean, just like any supporter base, you get your good games, you get your bad games. I think probably one of the best matches I've ever. Well, one of my favourite Parramatta matches that I were there was 2005. We beat Canterbury Bankstown 56 points to 4, I think, at Parramatta Stadium. That was one of my favourites. Hi, Paripi Ekuwasi. Metallic Panther. What team do you reckon will be the underdog for the 2022 NRL season? Underdog. From what I've seen so far, I know Dark Horse is different to underdog, but Cronulla Sutherland definitely an underdog. Definitely a dark horse. Sorry, underdog at this stage. It was kind of for a couple of rounds there. It was looking like North Queensland, but then they were brought back down to 8th. Every year, it's always the case. You always get one team that does really badly and drops out of the 8th, and then you get a team that surprises everybody and makes the finals. And then generally, whoever they pick for wooden spooner doesn't come wooden spooner. Oh, footy balls, all right there. Hey up. Hey man, congrats. No bother. Pro Windsor Vid says on the bus watching this stream and last day too. How good is that? The last day of the team or whatever you call it. Best coach? Do you mean so far this year or over the last couple of years? Right, pretty surreal being on this live stream. And I got the banner there. I was wondering how you do those, and then it actually tells you. This year, best coach so far this year, probably Ivan Cleary. He's got Penrith starting just where they left off last year, winning games. Metallic Panther, I'm gonna be late for school. That's no good. But if it's the last day of the term, I'm pretty sure they won't mind. I always remember, even though I enjoyed going to school, I always remember probably one of my favourite days of the school year was the last day of the year entirely, because you'd show up, you didn't have to wear a uniform, everyone was dead relaxed, you'd hang around, and because you had to be there, and like obviously the teachers couldn't teach you now, so they'd just sit there and just watch over you, and they'd just say, oh, do you want to play football, or you want to go on a Game Boy or whatever? Just pass the time and wait for the bell to ring. But I remember, I think it might have been one year in high school. It's the only time I've ever wagged school. But on the last day, we were all supposed to go to school, and me and about 5 or 6 other lads, we all went. fuck it, we're not going to school. So we all went in there and signed in, and then we just walked out. Which competition do I like better, NRL or Super League? NRL. I really do like the Super League, but I'd say that overall the quality of the NRL is better. But I mean, there are things that I like about Super League that the NRL doesn't have. The fans, the singing, the atmosphere. Um, the if you go from England and you go to Australia and you carry on like you do when the crowds here, everyone over there kind of looks at you a bit funny because Australian crowds don't sing, they don't light flares, they're not segregated, um, they're probably not as intense. They're more sort of easy going. So I wish that were in the NRL. I wish fan segregation was in the NRL where you go to a match and you sit with your own people and you sing songs and you do all that keep. That uh, I just, but if you're looking at the quality of the players and the NRL is 10 times better than the Super League, but Super League's still good. I still like Super League. Do you plan on coming back to Australia again, or at least visiting? I mean, I do like. I was going to come back about 2 years ago, but the whole COVID thing happened, and that kind of ended that. And then you should see the prices of the flights now. Scandalous. Super League has a more grassroots feel. Yeah. Now, if you even if you sort of watch videos that people post online where they go, I'm going to a live, I'm going to the match, I'm going to be doing a live vlog, and you compare the Super League atmosphere to the NRL, it's totally different. If you go to like an NRL match, people will kind of sit there. It's all casual. They'll be drinking beer, talking. Oh, what are you doing on the weekend and all that kind of stuff. And you'll have people that will leave their seats and miss half the match, and then occasionally you'll have someone say, "Get out of here, fucking wanker," or something like that, or "fuck you, ref," or whatever. That's all you really get. Or you might get whoever's playing. You might get roosters, roosters, something like that. But over here, it's singing constantly. But for 80 minutes, it's just singing, singing. Everyone's intense. Everybody watches the match. It's way different, way different. Um, Thoughts on Tom Trbojevic injury for 4 week? It's a massive blow for Manly, but as you saw tonight, they did okay without him. So maybe that's a really good sign for Manly if they can just play like that again for another 3 weeks, and then when they get Trbojevic back, then who knows? I am planning on going to a couple of Super League matches this year, or a Championship match, or a League One match. I'd like to go to one of them. Um, I'm sort of in between Newcastle and Leeds. I'm about 45 minutes drive from Newcastle, about an hour's drive from Leeds, and then you've got York as well. So I'm quite close to all them. Some of them Super League games are so loud. They are, they are. Even even if you compare, like, I live just down the road from Middlesbrough, and I've been to watch them play in the football because I got a YouTube channel. It's all about football, and just the atmosphere and everything there's because I've been to A League matches, which is the football competition in Australia, and it's can't even compare it. Snellens to win 4 in a row. It's very possible. I'm hoping that they can do it. I know that Footy Balls wouldn't agree with me because he hates Snellens. But yeah, it's definitely possible. I think the lads can definitely do it. There's a couple of teams. I think Catalan is probably the main threat at the moment, along with Wigan, to try to stop Snellens from winning 4 in a row. But then, as you saw with the Toulouse Olympic game, all it takes is maybe when it comes to the playoffs or the grand finals, Snellens just have an off night, and whoever they're playing just gets up on the day, and that will end the 4 in a row. But definitely, I think Snellens can go 4 in a row. I don't think that they'll ever match Wigan, because Wigan won 9 in a row. Wigan pretty much won everything in the sort of late 1980s through to the 1990s. New Zealand to win 3 matches in a row. It's possible, but I have tipped them this week, and generally when I tip New Zealand to win, they let me down. Metallic Panther says, as soon as I go for Leeds, they have a crappy season. This is the worst I've ever seen Leeds play ever that I can remember. They probably have played worse throughout their history, no doubt, but this is the worst that I've ever seen them play. I think I tipped them third at the start of the year. I had Catalan to come first, Snellens to come second, and I had Leeds to come third. Super League need to televise every game. It's a shame we couldn't see that Toulouse against Snellens match. I think I commented on, maybe it was you, or maybe it was the other lads. They said, why isn't every Super League game televised and all that? The way that they televise the matches here, it kind of reminds me of like not the NRL, but the New South Wales Rugby League and ERL before it became the NRL. They used to do things the same way. There was about 10 matches for the rounds, and they'd have a Friday night match which was delayed by about 50 minutes. So the match was being played, and it was the second half, and then Channel 9 would broadcast the match on the Friday, and then on the Sunday, that match would be delayed by the same amount. And believe it or not, Channel 9 had that going all the way up until, I think, 2010, 2011. Because I remember there were a rule at the pub that if you knew the score and you come into the pub and told people, you had to buy everyone in the pub pints. But I remember there was one game. It was West Tigers against Melbourne at Leichhardt Oval, and we were all watching the match. It was the first half, and West Tigers were playing well and all that. And then we saw this lad come in because obviously the match had already finished. This West Tigers supporter come in with the scarf, and he had a miserable look on his face. And I went, Melbourne won the match, because you could just tell by his reaction. And I went, well, that just spoiled the afternoon right there, like. Hey, bro, congrats on 2,000 subscribers. I'm going to go to school. All right, catch you later, Metallic Panther. John94 says, what's your thoughts on Leeds 2015 treble win side? They were very good that year. Probably one of the best of the Super League era. Leeds have had some very good sides throughout the Super League era. But I guess in a way, is if you look at what they won before Super League and what they won after, Leeds were a very successful club before Super League, and then as soon as Super League come about, they've just exploded. They got to a totally different level. But I would like to go. I would like to go to Headingley. I think it's the closest Super League ground in this, so I'd like to go there. but getting back to I think it wasn't up until the late 90s, early 2000s in Australia that you started getting regular live matches, because before then you had the two matches on delay that Channel 9 had, and then if your game wasn't being played on the telly, you had to listen to it on the radio or go to the match. And sometimes with Super League, it's like you go back to the 1990s. Because when I do my tips, I go, there's only two matches being televised, the other four are not being televised. And then the highlights that they show you on YouTube from the official Super League account, it's like a bairn or fucking a small child has got the camera and is doing the footage. Who's been the best team so far this year? In the NRL, Penrith; in the Super League, Snellers. It's good to see John 94 in here. John, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, 1994. I wonder where Just Rugby League is. Just Juice Rugby League. Freshly squeezed Rugby League content. If you haven't subscribed to Just Rugby League, then go ahead. I think he's on about 670 subscribers at the moment. Maybe a bit more, give or take. Nick from Australia is up to about 1,770 or something like that. Pro Enzo Mids is about 1,680. So there's a couple of people getting close to that 2,000 mark as well. Which team has been improving so far this year? I'm a bit surprised with North Queensland. I thought that they'd really struggled to start the year, but they put in some good efforts. Newcastle were very surprising, those opening two matches, but I think they're going back to the way that they were. Well, the way that people thought that they'd go this year, down towards. I think Warriors and RL Fanatics tipped them to come last this year. Besides the NRL Super League, I follow football, but believe it or not, I like football more than rugby league. But I support Everton and the English national team, obviously. And since about 2003, I've been a follower, supporter of Paris Saint-Germain. Believe it or not, I do like Ligue 1, and I supported them before people sort of really knew who they were, like globally knew who they were, and before they become ridiculously rich, because everyone kind of goes, "Oh, PSG had no money and they weren't successful before the Qataris come in." Well, they're actually quite rich before the Qataris come in. Now they're just insanely rich, like richy rich. And of course, you get Messi and Neymar and Mbappe, Di Maria, Ibrahimovic, Cavani, Verratti, Thiago Silva, players like that you probably wouldn't get there beforehand. But then in seeing that, PSG got Ronaldinho a long time ago, so Aye, but I did a video about Everton last night. Yeah, I'm fucking done with them this year. Unfortunately, it's looking very very likely that we're going to get relegated, and I don't see us winning many matches or doing much for the rest of the year. So uh, very very disappointing. Lots of emotions at the moment. It's getting to that point where you want to cry, but I don't know. I guess when it happens, it happens. And that's the thing with football as well, is that with I think and some people that follow NRL and things like that, they don't understand is with the NRL, okay, if your team comes last of that, they have a bad year. Oh, that's okay. Dust yourself off, you'll be back next year. With Premier League and promotion relegation, if you get relegated, they might not be in next year, or it might be even worse than the year that you've had, because getting relegated from the Premier League for some clubs, it's game over. They don't recover. So, which NRL and Super League games are you looking forward to most this year? Um, being a Parramatta supporter, the two matches against Canterbury, really looking forward to them. It's always good when you play against your arch rival. Um, I always like the matches against South Sydney because both clubs, well, Parramatta and South Sydney have the biggest fan bases in the NRL for Sydney clubs, so there's always a big crowd for that. And I really like South Sydney as a club. Um, and for Super League, um, I don't know. I just look forward to whenever St Helens is playing. They're the ones that I look forward to the most when St Helens are playing. Hey man, I'm driving and gotta go. I just want to say congrats and thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate your feedback on so many videos. No bother there, Philly balls. I'll catch you later. No, there's no relegation in the NRL. I think for for Australia as a whole, relegation, promotion, and relegation is a foreign concept. It's just I don't think that there's any sport in Australia where promotion and relegation takes place at a professional level. Um, whereas here and in continental Europe and South America and yeah, them places, it's part and parcel. It's something that's always been there. Even there was it was on the it was on ITV Time T's news the other night, and they were talking about speedway racing, and he says, "Oh, there's this speedway racing team that they're facing relegation this year." And I'm thinking, "Fuck them! We've even got we've even got relegation in speedway racing." So it's all over. Um, it, yeah, relegation's a horrible thing. Like, especially if you if you get relegated from the Super League, the the matches there's no. I think there's only one match a week televised for the championship. There's now for championship. Best player so far in the NRL this year. I don't know. You'd have to look at the top sides there. Yes, unfortunately, I don't like to mention it on my channel, but some of the Melbourne players would be in there, and I think some of the Parramatta players have had good starts to the year. Mitchell Moses, Nico Hines is hitting the ground running for Cronulla. But if you look at the Dally M board though, like you got Isaiah Yeo, players like that, he's leading it. Oh, hiya, just rugby league. Now on the 3K, hopefully. Congrats on 2K. Really enjoyed the stream. Gotta get ready for work. See you later. Catch you later, mustard cat. Mustard cat. Uh, Cody Games PlayStation. How's it going, bro? Congratulations on 2,000 subscribers. I'm going sound at the moment. It's just after 10 o'clock at night in England. With the time differences, I think the clocks went forward for us, and I think they went forward for Australia as well. So it's knocked up the time, but I decided to try to do the stream as late as possible. So it gives some people that get up early in the morning a chance to come on and see, yeah, whatever. Being a St Helens fan, would you like to see Morgan Rose go over to the NRL? I, I'd, I'd encourage I'd encourage most players that are doing well in the Super League to go over there and give it a crack. Like, not unless you're fully committed to spending your entire career in England, because no doubt I think there's been probably some players in the past that have turned down going there, and then after they retire, they regret it and think, well, I could have gone over there and given it a shot. But I think if he should go over there and give it a crack. Like, I think the perfect time to go over to Australia, to the NRL, is probably around about 25, 26. You have a couple of years here, build yourself up, get a bit of a reputation, and then go over there, because you don't want to go over there when you're too old, and you don't really want to go over there when you're too young either. Because I'm pretty sure when Sam Burgess went there, he was about 25, 26 year old. Do you hate any NRL players this year? Um, I don't like anyone that plays for Melbourne, past, present, or future. Melbourne is my most disliked club of all time in any sport. So I don't like any Melbourne players whatsoever. He was 21. I thought he were a bit older. Well, there you go. 21. Because I think by 2014, I think he'd been in the NRL for about 4 or 5 years. Uh, yeah, I think he'd have to go down as probably one of the best, if probably top three best import to the NRL from England. Why do you hate Melbourne so much? I did a video about it. Actually, it was one of my first ever videos. I think it's titled "The NRL Team I Hate the Most." But I've got about 30 to 40 reasons why I dislike him. I'm not one of these people that just goes, fuck Melbourne, whatever, or fucking salary cap cheaters. I've got valid reasons why I don't like him. But yeah. I mean, I could be here all night telling you why I dislike him. But for a very long time there, Liverpool was the most disliked club ever in any sport on planet Earth. And a few years ago, I think maybe 10 to 15 years ago, Melbourne took over from that. Who's my favourite all-time NRL player? Nathan Hindmarsh. Nathan Hindmarsh is my favourite NRL player. Even when I was younger, I grew my hair like Nathan Hindmarsh. Just Rugby League says, yeah, I hate Liverpool, the bin dippers. The red shies. The only thing I don't mind about Liverpool, I don't mind it when you cop shite from real Scousers, so people that are born and bred Liverpool, like people in my family or people that have lived there, and they go for Liverpool because they're genuine and all that. What really boils me piss is when you get people from Africa and Asia, Australia, all these other far-flung places, and they're just going for Liverpool because they're successful and because they got good players, and they're never going to get relegated. They're always going to be up there winning trophies and stuff like that. And when you get fucking arseholes like them giving you shite, that's when I don't like it. Yeah. I mean, around here they're called plastic scousers. I don't know what they're called in the northwest, but around here they're called plastic scousers. My favourite all-time Super League / English player. I don't know. I really like Sam Burgess. I think off the field, on the field, he was just great. I mean, there's lots of St Helens players. I don't know. It's pretty tough. Like pretty tough just to pick one. John 94 says you hate Melbourne just as much as I hate Arsenal. Probably. Rugby League Roundup. Congratulations on 2,000 subscribers. Rugby League history, you deserve it. Cheers, Rugby League Roundup, aka Billy Angelopoulos. Do I hate any Super League teams? No, but there's a couple of fan bases that I don't particularly like. Just with some of the interactions I've had with them on social media, Wakefield fans can be pretty delusional. This is a club that haven't won a trophy since 1967, 1968, and they've only made one cup final since then in any competition. And yet, when you see that their club's going to come 10th, they lose their fucking minds because they think that they're going to finish in the playoffs. Castleford fans, I'm not really fond of at the moment after some of the comments they've directed towards me and what they've said about CJ Moxley. Not really a fan of them at the moment. Huddersfield, you got them people in the crowd with that cowbell. Not a fan of that. I don't really hate, and I don't really hate a club though with the Super League. No, more just the fans of the club, just certain sections. That cowbell does me head in bad. Aye, and it also reminds me of Melbourne as well because ever since Melbourne's been in the competition, they must be their first ever fan or season ticket holder since the first year. They've got the cowbell as well, and they go dun 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 dun, dun Melbourne. Fucking does me head in like. Is there much of an active support culture in the Super League? It's kind of dying in the NRL these days. See, the thing with England is that if you don't live in a town or near a town that plays rugby league, nobody's interested whatsoever. Nobody. Where I live, it's a football area, football man's, which I don't have a problem with because I love football. But I think the the only the only time that you actually start to see people wearing rugby league kits or talk about rugby league is when you get close to a city or a town where they have a team. Because around here, nobody knows anything about rugby league. Um, it was even a it was a question at the club once because I do quiz at the club there, and they asked the question, who's won the most championships in English rugby league history, and nobody knew it. Everyone's kind of going, Wigan. I've heard of that whole team. I got that St. Patrick's. No, St. Helens. That's them, St. Helens. And I was sat there at the table with a big smile on my face, and I said, "It's Wigan." And we were the only team that got it right. And everyone's going, "How the fuck do you know that?" And I went, "Because I watched rugby league." But even I wore this to the pub. I wore this Great Britain kit 2 weeks ago to the pub, and the next day when I went in, this lad come over, and he had a Leeds coat on, like a Leeds kind of body warmer, and he went, "You were wearing a Great Britain Rugby League kit last night," and I says, "I," and he says, "I've lived in Stockton nearly my entire life, and I've never seen anyone ever wear any rugby league stuff in this town, and you're the first one ever." And I went, "Really?" And he said, "Aye." He said, "No, nobody's interested in rugby league in this town." Best coach so far in the Super League this year. Uh, you'd have to go Christian Wolf, or you'd have to go the Huddersfield head coach. What he's doing at the moment. He's he didn't have a good time last year, but this year doing way better. He was a miracle worker at Salford, so he's doing really well this year. The all-time best coach in the Super League. It's kind of hard because coaches can you don't really get like a Wayne Bennett or that type of a coach in the English Super League. You got people like Sean Wayne and Brian McDermott and people like that. It'd probably be one of them. I know with St. Helens, we tend to change head coaches every 2 to 3 years because either we don't win stuff and they either leave or get sacked, or they win stuff and then they go to the NRL or they get barred and go somewhere else. But we've got 5 people on the chat at the moment. 5 people. I'm buzzing over this. I didn't think I'd get anyone on the chat because it is dead early in Australia, and that's where 90% of the people that watch my channel come from. That area of the world: Australia, New Zealand, Fiji. But I'll probably be on for 10 more minutes or so because I do have work tomorrow, so I want to try to get some sleep before tomorrow. It was unbelievable today. Like we were outside. It was about 3 degrees, and I mean, I love the cold, me, but it was just a howling wind, and then you got the rain coming down. I'd probably have to agree with you. Just rugby league there. Brian McDermott definitely would be up there. Um, I was just thinking about Tony Smith, even though I mean he has won some stuff, but you'd probably see he's kind of like a bit of a Wayne Bennett of the Super League. He's been coaching in England for over 20 years now. He's been around for a while. Cody Games PlayStation, it's almost half 70 yet. I watched your video the other day where you were, I think you're in sort of like one of the corners of Penrith Park there, and you're going, "How are you, South? Come on, how are you?" And then you did a bit of a face reveal at the end there. It's always a bit shocking for just coming from my own point of view when you watch a YouTube channel for ages and ages, and then someone does the face reveal. I remember when Metallic Panther did his, like that was a bit freaky. Oh well, one day to the weekend, and then next week's Easter, which is good and bad. I wonder where Nick from Australia is, or CJ Moxley. CJ Moxley, he's like an android, doesn't sleep. He probably just. Have you ever watched that show, Humans? He probably just walks over to a wall, plugs himself in the wall. I'm just going to power down now. I did, yes. I enjoyed the game there, even though South Sydney lost. It looked like a good atmosphere. I've never been to Penrith Park myself personally. I've drove past there, never been inside. I do remember. I think we're going out there to get some storage boxes or something like that. And we drove past Penrith Park, and I think it was over 40 degrees that day. It was totally mapped. It was roasted. I only did my face reveal this year at the Wigan and Warrington trial game. Well, I've always seen you, so because I think I've only been following you for a couple of months, so I wasn't there from before, um, where you weren't showing your face. Is Michael Maguire in trouble? Yes, he is. He is 100%. Um, things are not looking good for Michael Maguire. However, last year I thought that he was going to get terminated at the end of last year, and then the board said we'll give you another year. So, um, but if they are going to make a decision, they're going to have to make it fast because you don't want to get halfway through the year or towards the back end of the year and do it. You want to do it now. Things are not looking good though, and they could get worse because they have to play Cronulla, Shark Park, tough place to go, and they're looking at 0-5. Like it's not looking good for West Tigers, and then I think in 2 weeks' time, or maybe I think it's 2 weeks' time they play Parramatta. So doesn't get any easier. Nick will be knocking Z's out, and CJ Moxley said he had something to do this morning, probably to power up or check his extension lead that goes into the side of his body to make sure that he's charging those power cells. Nick from Australia is generally up early. He's generally at work right now, pushing them trolleys, Gunelliber, and then halfway through the day going out for lost trolley patrol. Nick, we've got a couple of trolleys in the riverbed. You have to go down there and get them. West Tigers wooden spoons this year. At this stage, yes, it's only round four, but if they go 0 and 5, 0 and 6, and then some of the other teams above them start winning, then it gets a case where it's going to be like Parramatta in 2018. I remember we started the year 0 and 6, and for the rest of the year we were playing catch up, and I think it was only towards the back end that we finally caught up to Canterbury and North Queensland. And I think for 1 or 2 weeks we actually overtook them. But yeah, West Tigers do not want to get into that position. But the way that match finished the other week against the Gold Coast, where the Gold Coast just put up a kick and then it went all over the place, and then Brimson put his hand down and scored. I went, that reminds me of 2018 Parramatta, because we lost so many matches right towards the end of the game just by the bounce of the ball. Really can't see where their first win is coming for West Tigers. Well, even though I'm a Parramatta supporter, that Easter Monday match against West Tigers, they're good matches. And even though it's not a rivalry match or out like that, because it's Easter Monday, West Tigers most of the time are generally up for it. So I'm expecting there has been a couple of times where where we've had a couple of blowout scorelines against them, but they could get their first win of the year against us. I don't see him beating Cronulla though. No. Shark Park is a very tough place to go, and I don't see him beating Cronulla. I think Herbie Farnworth definitely deserves to be in the England side. I'm not sure if you can pick him over Connor or Percival. I haven't see the thing at the moment is that I can't really watch many matches because of my telly situation and all that. So I don't know how Oliver Gildart's going. 80s to 90s Wigan Rugby League FC, yes. All right there. I don't think I've ever I don't think I've ever seen 80s to 90s Wigan Rugby League Football Club comment on my videos before. So hiya. Maybe a spot on the wing if not. Pirapy says, congratulations on 2000k subs, bro. So proud of you. Thank you, Pirapy. Cheers. Thanks to everyone that subscribed to me when I was at 1,000 subscribers, because if you've just joined, back then when I reached 1,000 subscribers, I didn't get a chance to see a thank you because at that stage I didn't have the technology available to do a live stream. But now I do. So thanks to everyone that was there from 0 to 1,000 and then from 1,000 to 2,000. Farmworth and Percival, England centres for me. Owen, but it's England, so we probably end up beating them in another second row at City. I probably like. I remember at last World Cup, Jermaine McGillivray had a great tournament on the wing there. He was great. I think he's probably one player that he should have really gone to the super. Should have really gone to the NRL, but he's decided to spend his whole career at Huddersfield's. He scored a lot of tries, but I think he might look back on his career and go, "I could have left Huddersfield and gone somewhere else." I wonder when Just Rugby League's Challenge Cup prediction video will be because I'll be watching it. Who's everyone tipping for the NRL today and tomorrow, depending where you are? I might wrap up the stream in about 5 minutes or so. So, have you got any final questions? Just shot them in and I'll answer them. Was I really the first rugby league YouTuber that you started watching? That's pretty good if that's the case. I think the first rugby league YouTuber I ever watched was Nick from Australia, and that's because he commented on my video and says, "I'll give you a shout out," and then I goes on his channel the next day and he's doing his because back in them times he used to sit on the settee and he used to have the phone and he used to go, "Yeah, I'm tipping this," and he went, "I just want to give a shout out to this lad called Rugby League History. He's all the way over there in London, England." And I went, "London, England? I'm not from London, like John is. I'm not." Was meant to do it tonight, but I had rugby training. Then ended up going to the pub after, so I'm not going to get one done in the morning. Oh well. When it eventually comes out, I'll watch it for sure. We're gonna start doing that. We're gonna start doing that podcast. It seems like me Wi-Fi is sound, my phone sounds, so I can definitely do it. Pro Enzo Vids was saying earlier that my connection is crystal clear, so I'm going for the same tips. I'm tipping all them. I think Eastern Suburbs will win 13 plus. Thoughts on Daly Cherry Evans re-signing with Manly until 2025? I think it's good news because it means that for one of the very rare occasions a player is going to finish their career as a one club player. So I think it's very good news for Manly and it's good news for rugby league because these days, unfortunately, rugby league's more of a business and unfortunately players go from club to club and not everyone gets to be a one club player anymore. But Daly Cherry Evans is in that unique category, I suppose. Anyway, I think that might wrap up the live stream for tonight. I just want to say thank you to everyone that showed up. I know it's early in the morning for most of you, so thanks for tuning in if you could. And if not, I'll upload this video so you can tune in later. And oh, yes, we do. Yeah. All right, no bother. Anyways, everyone, as I said, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. I'll be doing more live streaming in the future, hopefully. So stay tuned for those. And I'll catch us all later in the next video. So, bye bye for now. Take care of yourselves.